The wind carried a dry whisper across the empty plains of Flagstaff. A whisper that seemed to repeat the same warning over and over again. Truth always returns. Within those open hills, beneath the weight of a family name that had once symbolized unity, a storm was preparing itself. Not the storm of weather, but the storm of consequence. For years the Brown family had lived between the cracks of hope and heartbreak, love and tension, promise and disappointment. But now, those cracks had widened. And today, something inside that house, something long buried, long avoided, was about to break open. Kody Brown stood before a fogged bathroom mirror. Not the loud, confident Kody the world was used to seeing. Not the father who once believed he could manage a plural family with ease. But a man staring at a reflection he didn't recognize anymore. His eyes, once full of certainty and direction, now held a different intensity, one woven from exhaustion, confusion, and years of fractured relationships. He wiped the mirror with the palm of his hand. A new version of himself stared back. Exposed again, he murmured under his breath. But this time, the exposure wasn't coming from the wives. Nor from the cameras. Nor from old wounds resurfacing. This time, it was coming from within. Across the house, Robyn's hands trembled as she folded laundry at a steady, almost mechanical rhythm. The room was quiet, too quiet. She had always tried to keep the chaos outside her door. She had always tried to maintain calm, maintain order, maintain control. But control was slipping, faster than she could gather it. There were signs. Kody pacing late at night. Phone calls that ended abruptly when she entered the room. A distance in his eyes she had seen only once before, during the early, fragile days of the family's unraveling. But this time, the unraveling wasn't about Christine leaving. Wasn't about Janelle standing firm. Wasn't about Mary facing the truth. This time, it was something else. Something darker. And Robyn could feel it in her bones. The Brown family had always lived a life half in the present, half in the past. Every argument had echoes. Every disagreement had roots. Every confession had history. And so when the whisper began, the whisper of a truth returning, it seeped through the halls of the house with a chilling familiarity. It began with a question asked behind closed doors. Then a concern raised by someone who still watched the family from afar. Then an emotional crack in a story Kody tried to explain away. Soon, that whisper grew legs. Then it grew a voice. Then it became a narrative. A narrative Kody could no longer outrun. It happened on a Thursday afternoon. A simple day. A quiet day. A day where nothing felt unusual, until everything changed. Kody sat across from Robyn at the dining table. His shoulders were stiff. His jaw locked. His fingers tapped against the wooden surface, not rhythmically, but nervously. "Kody, what are you not telling me?" Robyn asked, her voice soft but wavering. He looked at her, then looked away. "I don't know how to say this without making things worse," he replied. "Kody, things are worse." Silence. Then he spoke words that felt heavier than the room could bear. Something came out. Something from the past. Something that's being twisted, talked about, dragged back into the spotlight. Robyn felt her heartbeat climb. "What kind of something?" Kody hesitated. "The kind," he said, "that makes people look at me differently." Robyn's reaction wasn't immediate. It washed over her in waves. Disbelief, fear, anger. "Kody, why didn't you tell me sooner? I didn't think it would spread. I didn't think it mattered anymore." "Kody, everything matters. You know how fragile things are right now. Her voice cracked. Her composure broke. Robyn, the steady one, the voice of reassurance, the one who tried to hold the remaining pieces together, suddenly felt the pieces slipping through her fingers. She wasn't angry at the public. Not angry at the whispers. She was angry at the one person she always defended, the one person she believed she understood better than anyone else. "Kody, how could you keep this from me?" she whispered, tears forming. Kody stood up abruptly. "I thought I could handle it. I thought I could fix it before it reached us. But it did reach us." Robyn cried. The storm inside her finally broke. For the first time in a long time, Robyn lost control. In the following days, tension spread like wildfire. Kody became defensive. Robyn became distant. And the house grew heavy with unspoken thoughts. Even the smallest things triggered arguments. A misplaced item. A delayed text. A shift in tone. Everything felt like evidence. Everything felt like pressure. And the more Kody tried to justify or explain, the more Robyn unraveled. She paced the hallways late at night. Sat alone in the living room. Watched old videos of the family, videos where laughter still existed, before so much had changed. That Robyn felt like a stranger to her now. Then came the message. A single message. Sent from someone the family knew long ago. A message that didn't accuse, but warned. A message that said, "The truth always returns. Be careful. Protect the ones you love." Robyn read it twice. 3 times. Then again. It wasn't what the message said. It was what it implied. Someone wanted the past to resurface. Someone wanted to stir old shadows. Someone wanted the Brown family's wounds reopened. And Robyn felt the chill of realization. Someone knew something. The next morning, Robyn confronted Kody again. Not with anger this time, but with a quiet, controlled desperation. "I can't keep defending things I don't understand," she said softly. Kody looked exhausted. "I've made mistakes. I'm not perfect. But I'm not the villain people want me to be. Kody, I just need honesty. I am being honest. But you're not being complete," she whispered. That was the breaking point. Not for Robyn. Not for Kody. For the dynamic between them. A silence settled that felt bigger than the room, bigger than the moment, bigger than the marriage itself. One by one, the other family members heard murmurs of tension. Some were concerned. Some were unsurprised. Some stayed silent. While the message of exposure spread across channels, online groups, and whispers among viewers, the family tried to brace for impact. They had been here before. But this time felt heavier. Not because of what people were saying, but because of the emotional fracture happening inside the last remaining household. Late one night, Kody stepped outside beneath the cold air. He took a long breath. He knew the truth wasn't in the rumors. Wasn't in the past. Wasn't in the accusations. The truth was in the cracks of his marriage. And that truth was simple. He had not been fully present. He had not been fully honest. He had not been fully accountable. Not to the world. Not to the family. Not even to himself. And when he walked back inside, he knew there was only one thing left for him to do. Speak the full truth, whatever it was, to the one person who was still standing beside him. Robyn sat alone in the dim living room when Kody approached her. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't defend himself. He didn't argue. He simply spoke, calmly, clearly, fully. The truth wasn't dark, not scandalous, not shameful. It was human, flawed, honest. And the weight of the storm finally began to settle. Not disappear, just settle. For the Brown family, this wasn't the end. It was simply the next chapter. The chapter where truth, anger, fear, and vulnerability existed side by side. And where the fight to rebuild, or the choice to walk away, would define everything that came next.